Hi, I'll jump straight right in. So last year, a report mentioned that it takes 132 years for us as a society to achieve gender equality on a global scale. That is 1,584 months of girls being denied education, that many weeks of girls not being given a seat on the table, that many months of women being treated as second-class citizens. And let me tell you, it takes 1,584 months for us as a society to even stand a chance to have a sustainable future. When I say that, I would want to paint a picture of what a sustainable future looks like. Environmental balance, economic stability, political and social harmony. For us to have a system with all of this, we need women more than you would think. As primary caretakers, women's intimate and first-hand knowledge about their local ecosystems, their sustainable practices that they do on a day-to-day basis makes us as a society more adaptive towards climate change and global warming. For example, for the longest time in Nepal, I've seen women in my household, women in my communities, women in my societies find new ways to harvest and purify rainwater for day-to-day use. I've seen women all around the globe use sustainable waste management tactics that are useful for every household. These small things that women have been doing for ages, for years on end, make us as a society more adaptive, make us have a better chance to get a sustainable future. Economically and politically speaking, women are known to uplift economies. Governments that have female participation and female leadership often lead to a more sustainable outcome, like countries like New Zealand or Finland. Even on a local scale, there are many women who are parts of businesses and communities who have reused and recycled new products into the market, which have done significantly well, by the way. And that is not just environmentally mindful, it also takes local economies to great heights. Women's involvement in workforce not just ensures sustainability, but it also boosts international growth. Having said that, this is all that women have done, and way more than this, in a system that is designed for us to fail, in a system that roots for us to fail. Imagine what would happen if our girls were educated. Imagine what would happen if our mothers got a say, if our grandmothers got a say. Imagine what would happen if we saw more women in panels, more women in positions of authority, in discussions and decisions. The tables would definitely turn. Thank you. Having said that, it is also very important to understand that women are the most vulnerable, the first one to take the impact, whether be it of climate change or crashing economies, from being pulled out of school to walk hours on end to fetch water for your house, or to be the first one to get fired in an economic crisis like in COVID-19, all based just on your gender. Be it climate change, global warming, crashing economies, political imbalance, women are always the first in line for the impact. Now, isn't it ironic, cruelly ironic, to be someone who contributes so much on your day-to-day lives for a sustainable future? To be the first one to get the impact in case anything goes wrong in our society, but also to be the one who is excluded from most parts of our society. Art, religion, politics, discussions, decisions, everything. Look around you. Look at women in your lives. Look at what they bring to the table. I don't need stories and examples and data to tell you that we need women in this journey more than ever. And I know we see this on the news, we talk about it with our peers, we listen to it on newspapers and in talks. And this might make us feel a bit hopeless. Knowing how far we've come and knowing how far we have to go is a bit intimidating, at least for me. But it's very important to understand the power that we individually hold. Different types of power. Power to resist, power to change, power to influence. And we need to access this as a whole, as a society, to stand a chance to achieve a sustainable future. And hopefully that 132 years will come a bit notched down to maybe 100, maybe a 32, maybe 2 years. We really need that. Half of our society, less than half of our society is not enough. We need all of us in everything we have and everything we can access to ensure we have a future we genuinely deserve. Let's start small. If this intimidates you, let's start small. Look at women in your lives. Look what you can learn from them. Resilience, their knowledge, their adaptive methods. If you're someone who is financially capable in this economy, make sure we invest in local women-led sustainable businesses, help them make a greater impact. There are thousands of organizations who have worked day and night to close the gender gap, to ensure we protect our environment, to ensure we protect our future. Invest in that. If you're a person of power, ensure female participation in everything you do. Politics, discussions, make sure we hear from women all around the world, especially from parts that is impacted the most. We need to hear from them, to learn from them, to find a solution from them. For women, trust our instincts, have confidence in our knowledge, and if I may ask you to do so, demand it. Demand that you are accredited, that you're acknowledged with everything you are and everything you have, to live the best of our lives that we possibly can. And lastly, history knows the women before us who have fought this fight, who have fought their battles, silent or loud, to protect their environment, to protect their community, have always been lost in the echoes. So this time around, let's make sure we write that in stone as legacy for the next generation to find, to keep, and hopefully learn from. Thank you.